Square root of multiples of 2. I am Anil Kumar and now we will explore square root of multiples of 2. Let us first write multiples of 2, right? So when I say 2 to the power of 1, it means it is 2, right? How about 2 to the power of 2? It means 2 times 2, which is indeed equal to 4, right? Now 2 to the power of 3 is 2 times 2 times 2, which is 4 times 2, and I can write this as 8. 2 to the power of 4 equals to 2 times 2 times 2 times 2, which is 8 times 2, 16, right? 2 to the power of 5 will be 2 times 2 times 2 times 2 times 2, which is 16 times 2, right? Since 2 to the power of 4 times 2 will give me 2 times 5, and that is number 32. Similarly, 2 to the power of 6 will be 2 times 2 times 2 times 2 times 2, 2 times 32, which is 64. And 2 to the power of 7 will be, there will be 7 2's this time, right? And I think that's the 7th one. Multiply this by 2. Twice 64 is 128, right? 2 times 8 should be equals to 2 times 2 times 2 times 2, these are 4, and then 4 more, right? And twice this is 256. 2 to the power of 9 equals to 9 2's, right? 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, and twice this 5, 1, 2. And then this is the last one for me. 2 to the power of 10 will be 10 of these, right? So that makes it 5. And then we have 5 more, and the answer is 2 times 512, which is 1024. So these are your multiples of 2. Now from the multiples, it's very easy to get square root. To start with, let us do square roots one by one. So what is square root of 4? Square root of 4 is just number 2. Since we can write 4 as 2 times 2, and square root is, if we have two same factors, then we can take one of them out, correct? Now then we have done this, let's take even powers, 2 to the power of 4. 2 to the power of 4 is 16, so square root of 16 is, this time there are 4 2's, right? 1, 2, 3, 4. So 2 of them can be taken out, and so we get the answer as 4, correct? Now let's look into 2 to the power of 6. 2 to the power of 6, let me write this as 2 to the power of 6 this time, right? 2 to the power of 6 is 64, which has 6 2's. So 3 can be taken out. That means 2 to the power of 3, and 2 to the power of 3 is 8. 2 times 2 times 2. 8. I hope you learn one more thing from here, that square root for exponents, it becomes half of 6 is 3, right? Now 4 was 2 square, right? 4 was 2 square, half of 2 is 1, so we got 2 as our answer. And 2 to the power of 4 is 16, the answer was half of 4, exponent, 2 to the power of 2 is 4, correct? That helps. Now if I have a number 1024 here, square root, what is the square root of 1024? Two ways to do it. One, 1024 is this number, it is 2 to the power of 10. 2 to the power of 10 is 1024. Half of 10 is how much? Half of 10 is 5. So my answer should be 2 to the power of 5. That is my answer. And from here I know it is 32. Correct? That is one way of doing it. The other way is, within the square root, I can keep on multiplying by 2's. And I know when you have 10 2's, then you get 1024. So half of 10 is 5. So when you multiply 2's by itself 5 times like this, you'll get 32 as your answer. So the answer is 32. So like this, you can find square root of multiples of 2. In fact, you can find square root of multiples of any number. But for 2 in general, if I write square root of 2 to the power of x, where x is not known to me, then what is the answer? The answer is 2 to the power of x divided by 2. So in general, it is half this power. That is what the answer is. Okay. Another thing which you should learn from here is we may not get these whole numbers as our answer. For example, what is square root of 8? Now 8 is 2 to the power of 3, right? That is 2 times 2 times 2. Since in square root we have to club them as factors of same number. So we have only two 2's. So the answer is 2 square root 2. Do you see that? So what we get here is square root 2 is considered to be half, as you have seen, right? Half, correct? So 1 and a half. Well, 3 divided by 2 is also half of 3, which, so let's say 2 to the power of 3 divided by 2 is 1 and a half, 1 and a half, like this. So at times you may get answers with square roots, right? So you can try this out. What is square root of 2 to the power of 9? Now 2 to the power of 9 should be 2 to the power of half of 9. That means 4 and a half, right? So 2 to the power of 4 and a half. So half means square root. So 2 to the power of 4 is outside and half means square. That is how it should be written, right? So 2 to the power of 9 square root is 2 to the power of 4 square root of 2. So at time, if you have odd powers here, in that case you are left with square root or a radical sign. Do you see that? So that is important thing which we learn here. So if I have square root of 2 to the power of 12, then the answer is 2 to the power of 6. But if I have square root of 2 to the power of 13, then the answer is 2 to the power of 6 square root 2, right? So I hope with this you understand how to find square root of multiples of 2, right? In fact, you can extend this to multiples of any number. Follow the same method. Important thing is square root is half the exponent, right? So if the exponent is 6, square root will be 3. If the exponent is 10, square root will be 5, and likewise. I hope you understand and appreciate it. Thank you.